And now, live from the studios of WHUC, this is Real Talk.
Good morning and welcome to this edition of Real Talk. I am your host, MeKiyla Brown, and we have a hot topic for you today. This has shaken up the world for a year and doesn't seem to be fading away anytime soon. Started in March of last year, this pandemic changed the way people carry out day-to-day life. This pandemic, known as the Green Monster, 2019 novel coronavirus, or as most know it, COVID-19. With me here today, I have Perry Florence, Anna Salisbury, Jada Carmel, and Amaje Williams. All are college students that have been exposed to COVID-19 and are here to share a little of their experience. Let's give them a warm round of applause. Welcome everyone, and thank you for joining me today. This has been an unusual year for students all across America, and some of you have been affected by coronavirus. How has this semester been with COVID-19 shaking things up a bit?
Honestly, if I can go first, I would say it's been a little rough. I couldn't have the experience such as prom or graduation, and then when I transitioned into college, I couldn't have that welcoming feeling of, hey, this is a new thing, a new college, welcome here. We had to, be kind of compacted with a mask and separated, so I couldn't get that experience of, welcome.
Yeah, like for me, it was hard because I was looking forward to prom and graduation and stuff, and I just hate the way things had turned out because this is something that nobody expected. Like when we left for spring break, we didn't think that this type of thing would happen, and it's just something that nobody was really prepared for. And then coming into college this year as well, it's been hard because it's been a big adjustment for everybody. And I feel like things will get better, but this isn't as easy as people thought it would be.
For me personally, COVID has done a 360 shakeup, like a tornado with the house. From being on campus freshman year, then having to move back sophomore spring semester. Freshman spring semester. Freshman year, you kind of get used to it. You have a schedule, you got things that you would like to do, you have freedom of will. You see what I'm saying? But then when you have to go back home with your parents, with other family members, in the house that you moved out of to go to college, it's kind of like a real world awakening that always, through any situation, you can always come back home. So I feel as though that was like a real checkup for me, saying that I do have a home to go to if something does happen drastic, like COVID-19.
For me, it definitely, like Perry just said, it was definitely like a 360. It was insane. I came here spring semester of 2020, went through January and February, and then all of a sudden we were kicked out at the end of spring break, and we didn't get a chance to come back until August, and no one knew what that was going to mean for us. Were we going to resume classes like normal? Were we going to have to do online? Especially me being a cosmetology major and really having that hands-on experience, I wasn't able to get that, and so it kind of rocked my world a little bit with the fact that I wasn't able to get the experience of a true cosmetology student.
For those who have contracted the virus, what was your experience like when you caught coronavirus or had to quarantine because of exposure?
I have been exposed to COVID, and it's like going back home. You're having to you're conditioned to be on campus. You're conditioned to go into my little 10 by 10 for being funny. A little dorm room, go in there, lock the door, turn on the lights, sit in my bed, go to my desk. I have a routine. Versus you're having to go home for 14 days again. It's like a new reckoning all over again. But at the same time, it was a realization that you always have a place to go when something bad happens. So I really do feel as though like COVID opened a lot of eyes for our generation and our peers, saying that at the end of the day, your family's there for you. So I think this is my take on it.
For me, when I had COVID, it made me realize that if I ever make it big and successful, that I do not want servants in my house, because I could not rely. I mean, and I love my mother and everything, but I could not rely on my mother for bringing me food or water. For instance, I would be hungry, and she would make me food, but she would go to sleep. And so I would eat burnt food. I couldn't taste anything, so it tasted wonderful, apparently, because I ate it. But I would have burnt food for like a week straight. So, I know, actually having COVID, though, it was horrible. The first day, I was actually crying the whole day, actually getting yelled at, but crying the whole day. I was in so much pain. The taste, losing your taste and smell wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Because I like to eat anyway, so I still ate. The smell part, there was some pros and cons of it, you know, can't smell your farts, but, you know, but you also can't smell if you're, you know, stinky or anything. So, but having COVID was horrible, so I wouldn't recommend it for anyone. Just, you know, be safe.
Yeah, and I also had COVID too towards December 2020. Luckily, we were out of school at that time, so it was just me, just at home, doing my daily, going to work, everything. But when I caught it, it was absolutely terrible. Like, I felt like I couldn't really breathe. It was really hard to breathe out. I had to learn how to use an inhaler, which that was adventurous. And also couldn't smell. And every single day I would go to these like objects that like nail polish remover and stuff like that, things that are really strong, and I would like smell it to see, okay, do I have my smell back? Of course, that wasn't successful. But remedy is ginger lemon tea. That's how I got my smell back. So yeah, it was crazy. But 3 days after I caught it, my dad actually caught it from me. So we had two people in the household. My mother was working at St. Dominic's Hospital, and so we were having just a bunch of chaos in one house, and it was definitely a thing that I never want to go through again. So
yeah, for me, it was crazy because pretty much almost my whole household had it. I think it was the only people that didn't get it was me, my sister, and my uncle. My grandma and my mom had it, and my uncle had it, my little cousin. Like, it's crazy because once it happens in your family, that's when it hits you like this is a real thing. And I would say living in the house with someone that's contracted it, it's pretty hard. And it was especially hard for me because of how worrisome my grandma is. She was still yelling, asking me to do stuff for her while she in quarantine. Like, it's just seeing, like, my mom, especially seeing my mom catch it, that was a real eye-opener because it was like, you know, like, it can be the people closest to you that catch this and you don't really know what happened to them. That's what made it scary, to be honest. But that was the real eye-opener for me. This is a real thing. And then when I had to quarantine, since I was exposed, like since my uncle, my mom, my grandmother, since pretty much half of my whole family got it, I had to be quarantined more than once.
Quarantine for like 50 days, huh?
Yeah, like,
it gets real lonely
it's something
too.
I got
Really
tired
lonely.
of, but I understand the importance of it. But yes, it's a crazy thing.
Right. As we all know, our age group, college students, is not taking the whole pandemic situation seriously because they just want the true college experience. Being a college student ourselves, how would you guys respond to this?
Oh, wow. I'll go first. So you really should take this seriously, like every other disease or pandemic, like the flu. Like, you definitely should take like the flu seriously. The coronavirus isn't really that much different. It's something that is contracted by like contact with other people, and so you really should just be really taking necessary precautions, because like me actually catching COVID, it was just, it made me realize, oh my gosh, I really should have taken this seriously and this would have never happened. So literally just mask up, you know, hand sanitize your hands, wash them, because hand sanitizer doesn't completely kill all the germs. Wash those hands with soap and water, and you should be good.
I agree with what you said, but I do have to disagree with a portion of it. Our generation, being a person from our generation, I have to say that our mentality is not that of our parents, cousins, uncles, grandparents. It's not the same. So with that being said, we kind of have like a fearless attitude when it comes to something.
Very careless.
So, for instance, with COVID in the beginning, if we look at the past administration in the White House, from watching those briefings, it can come off as it's going to go away. We just need to wait it out.
Right.
As we saw, eventually they had to close down the country. Nobody was allowed to go outside, but people did go anyway. Either A, they had to go to work, B, they had to go feed the family, or C, they just had to get out the house. Right? So our generation in particular, I feel as though that we're going to do what we need to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing is going to, period, nothing's going to stop someone from doing what they want to do if they really want to do it. If I want to go hang out with my friends at the park, I'm going to go hang out with my friends at the park. So I mean, that's why I think like we're not taking it serious because we don't think we can catch it. And if we do catch it, oh well, you know, I'm going to get over it.
Right.
I got the antibiotics. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just, you know, antibiotics. You know, sweat it out. That's what the old folks say. And they can easily catch it, but not knowing they have it and being asymptomatic. Which I do believe that is how most of our family members are being affected by it. We're going out, we're going to parties, we're going to restaurants. We can catch it because we're so young, our body's able to fight it off. But when we go back home, somebody in the bed sick, they got body aches, they got chills. You probably got the flu. Go to the hospital, you got COVID-19. You see what I'm saying? So it's a whole different story. So I really just think like our generation really need to take it serious because we're going to be those parents. Our parents. Say this does come up or say this never leaves. We're going to have to live through it. You see what I'm saying? So our generation is crazy. We're the new leaders, but we got to do better. Know better to do better.
Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say I really agree with what Perry was saying because once people our age and our generation, once they heard that, younger people our age, they don't really contract it. They don't really have the symptoms.
It's part of time. We finna go out. We finna
people are like, I don't care. I can do what I want then because I'm not going to get it this bad. But
I didn't even know I had it until...
A lot of us didn't understand that by doing this, we're hurting our elderly people, like our moms, our fathers, our people that are older than us that can easily contract this and be affected by this. Like, it didn't hit us that this is taking people's lives. And then you wanting to go out and party, you can give that to your grandmother, your grandfather, your uncle. You never know, and then you don't know what it can do to them. Like, it's just, we definitely have to step up our game and just realizing how serious this is. And even though we have the vaccine and stuff, and that things are slowly taking somewhat of a turn to get better, that it's just, all because we have a vaccine doesn't mean it's going to be out the window. Like, we still got a while. So I just feel like we just have to hunker down and take this a bit more seriously, because the sooner we take this more serious, the sooner this thing can go.
I just feel like we should all have the mentality that you need to care for others a little bit more. Because the reason when I caught COVID, I actually caught it from, I think, my aunt, because it wasn't here, but she caught it from her school, because she works at a school. So when I caught it, I kept my mask on. I didn't know I had it, but I always kept my mask on just in case, because you never know what you can have, even if you are asymptomatic. So I always kept my mask on, even when others didn't have it on, and no one, when I was around here, no one got it. So I felt like since I played my part in keeping my mask on and caring about others, even if, if they didn't have it, I didn't have it, it helped my mom a lot more. She's a recovering cancer patient. So even if I did have it, I would have brought it home. Well, I did. Even when I did have it, I would have brought it home to her. But because I was so safe and worried about others, I didn't. And she was my nurse. So she still didn't get it. But yeah, I really think we should just have the mentality that even if you want to go party or your friends want to go party, you need to think about others. You could have your grandmother at home somewhere and she could catch it. You just have to think of others.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, more with COVID-19. Stay tuned.
When stories hit home, you can trust the WHUC News 7 team to give you the information you need.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Sherry Washington.
And I'm Jordan Funny.
We have the news team that you can count on, and the only Hines College news station that cares more than any other college station in Mississippi.
The gym is in the construction, so both girls and
This
boys.
is home, and this is the news station. WHUC News 7.
Welcome back. I am your host, MeKiyla Brown, and I am here with some college students who know the COVID-19 experience all too well. Okay, you guys, we all know there's a new wave of coronavirus coming soon. What can we expect, or what can we tell our age group to be more safe, pretty much?
Get vaccinated to better your future.
Right.
Because I have a good feeling that sooner or later we're going to have to show our vaccination cards to go within the United States, go out of state, go across seas, overseas, do anything. We're going to have to show that vaccination card to say that we have been vaccinated. Now, vaccination does not mean that you are free of COVID. So I just feel as though that's something that I should be pushed, period, to our generation so we can better ourselves in the future.
All I have to say is please keep your mask on.
Yeah.
Right,
Yes,
right.
definitely.
Wear
One
properly.
or two. Yes.
keep
It
your
could be
mask.
1 or 2, 2 or 3. Just keep your mask on.
Yeah, keep your mask on, sanitize, wash your hands, make sure to keep a distance from people.
Be aware
just-
of your community. Yeah.
Yes.
Like who you're hanging around.
Just care for those around you.
Yes.
And not saying like don't be like extremely cautious of everything that you're doing, every little thing, but just be aware of like, okay, if you go to the store, make sure you wear your mask, your sanitizer, you're not high-fiving people or anything like that. So
It's funny that you say that, Perry, because CDC has released 2 different vaccines, Pfizer, BioNTech, and Moderna, to help combat the spread of COVID-19. What are some of you guys' views on the vaccine, or have some of you already been vaccinated?
So I took the Johnson & Johnson vaccine.
Okay.
I took it because I did not want to take 2 or 3 shots. I didn't see the seriousness of taking 2 or 3 shots. A vaccine just needs me 1 shot, so I opted Johnson & Johnson. Then recently on the news, they have came back with females with cases of blood clots.
Yeah, Mother Johnson.
So I'm doing okay. I'm taking some emergency every day. Vitamin C, I'm drinking lots of water. I haven't experienced any symptoms, but half my family, well, 2 or 3 of my family members have taken Johnson & Johnson. 2 of them are females. So it's like a real eye-opener because I go on and on. The vaccine was rushed, period.
Yes.
I don't care how you put it, it was rushed, okay? And there was no real large group of testing for that particular vaccine.
Right.
But really, Pfizer and Moderna, okay? Because y'all started the vaccine when we really, in the summer when COVID happened, okay? So how you gonna tell me that you know it's full-fledged working? You ain't had no years of study.
Right.
But anyway, you need to push to open up the economy, build back money. You know, we lost all that politics stuff. But I do believe that vaccination is crucial to better our future for everyone here.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, and okay, so being honest, anytime anything, medical comes out that's going to benefit us, and by us I'm saying black people, black people, something doesn't click in our heads telling you like, okay, this whatever this is going to help me. But instead, we get paranoid saying, oh, I'm not going to get that. What's that going to do to me? I'm not getting that.
Well, now, hold on now. If you look at history, black people have been used as the test
Yep.
dummies.
Yes.
Okay?
Right.
That's true.
Syphilis, and then if you look in low-income communities below the poverty line, they have been the test subjects for new cereals, new cigarettes, new drugs, new opioids, so they can really see how it's going to affect people, but it's being used on African Americans in those communities. So I really feel as though you are correct that it's a stigmatism in the back of black people's heads saying, if I go and do this, will I be a victim of this? Because you remember, when they came out with the vaccine, they was like, you can't sue these companies if you take it.
Right, right.
Let me tell you something. If I'm not there, we're going to get that money. Okay, so it's just
it's a lot.
It is a very lot at a limit, at a very short time frame. It makes a year, March, February of COVID. Ain't no way in the world a vaccine could come out full-fledged working for people within a year.
Right.
With no testing of no large community over 1 to 5 year span. That's just me. Now, I ain't no biologist, I'm just a student. So.
And with that, the vaccine, I feel like you should have to do your own research. Never let the next person tell you to do this and do that.
True.
You need to do your own research.
Don't let the sheep lead the sheep, let a shepherd lead the sheep.
All right.
And the other thing too, if you do choose to get the vaccine, my greatest advice to you would be make sure you're around people like, a guardian, somebody. So in the case that you do have allergic reaction or anything from the vaccine, they're able to assist you. Don't take it and then go stay by yourself where nobody can keep an eye on you.
Right. And which just leads me to my next question. If the vaccine was offered at school or required for you to attend school, what are your thoughts on that? In order to get enrolled in school, you have to be fully vaccinated.
I mean, that's fine. I'm already vaccinated, So.
Personally,
I would disagree with it. I would not take it.
Why? Why?
Well, one, I just feel like the vaccine is just kind of like a trial run right now. I feel like people are, I feel like everyone is kind of being a part of this little trial, and sooner or later we're going to have these little statistics like, okay, this percentage of people had allergic reaction, these percentage of people died from it, and I just, I'm really worried about the bad outweighing the good in the long run. So as of right now, I'm trying to be very cautious of what I can do to not get it again or anything. But if it does come out to where the vaccine is able to actually benefit people and there's not a bunch of issues going on with it later on down the road, I will definitely more than happy take it.
Okay, so I do have a quick question. So what's the difference between the malaria vaccination? I don't know.
Moderna?
Polio vaccination.
Oh, okay.
When we were kids, you know what I'm saying? I have a family member that was affected badly. She got the short end of the stick by taking one of those vaccinations when you were a little kid, right? She is forever now handicapped. You see what I'm saying? So my question to you is, are you saying that if it's not mandatory, well, hold on. If they make everything mandatory to have a vaccine, to do anything that you want to do, you're not going to get it?
If it came down to that, yes, I would get it. However, with school, I'm kind of thinking of a selfish reason. I'm about to graduate, not going to transfer. So I'm not really thinking in that aspect of getting the vaccine for that reason. But if that was to go to the store, go to the hospital, be a part of public events, I would have no choice but to get that because I'm an extrovert. I like to hang out with people. So.
I would like to thank everyone for taking time out of their busy day to sit down and talk with me on how this pandemic is seen in the eyes of those most affected. And thank you for tuning in with us at home. Remember to like us on Facebook at Radio and Television Production and subscribe to our YouTube channel at WHUC News 7, Hines Community College. And thank you for watching Real Talk. Until next time.